Just heard the terrible news about Niki Lauda. This guy was one of my heroes. He inspired me to never give up. Coming after his comeback from being burned over 90% of his body, almost dying in a crash, came back with the rivalry with him and James Hunt, and then his trials and tribulations, not just in the race car, but outside of how he handled his accident with his plane that killed over 200 people. How he handled it, how he demanded answers, how upfront and how forward he was, his grit, his toughness, his speed. It was all admirable. I learned a lot despite never meeting Niki Lauda, just from how he conducted himself in interviews, how he spoke, the stories he spoke. Some of you know I watched Formula One. I raced the game in leagues. As a Ferrari fan, he was one of the greatest to ever drive the Scuderia Ferrari. He was one of the greatest drivers to ever race in any machine. He was one of the greatest characters in auto racing history. Just hearing his loss, even though we knew he was ill, it's heartbreaking. I've gone to races, been to X a couple times. I never got to meet Mr. Lauda. I never got to say thank you for inspiring me to show that there is no give up. There's no, alright, I'm done. No, he just kept on pressing on. He kept on pressing on and didn't give a damn what anybody thought. And didn't give a damn what anybody thought, even after he retired as a driver. As far as sporting regulations for F1 and his role at Mercedes, the rival team to Ferrari. Which I hate Mercedes, but I just don't understand how we read about these people. We hear their stories, and there's us as people who are young or old or whatever, we try and decide who's our idols. Who do we look up to? Who do we not look up to? Who do we love and admire? Who do we hate and disgusted with? Like, Mr. Lauda was an honest, blunt racer. And that's what made me love him, along with his grit. I remember the Graham Bersinger interview where he was testing for Ferrari. Enzo was there, and he told Enzo to his face the car was shit. And he was the first one to ever do it, and he made Mr. Ferrari a promise, saying if you can't improve the car by 3/10, you're fired from your contract. Lauda improved it by 8/10. And you want to know the time frame he did this in? 2 hours. He got 8/10 out of the car in 2 hours. Just by saying the car is shit. It understeers a lot. If you can get rid of the understeer, it can drive great. And Niki made a promise, he kept on it. When Niki had his crash, everyone thought that James Hunt was a sure-in for the title, but this man rushed to come back. He rushed to come back. And you know James Hunt still won that title because of the rain race at Suzuka. I mean, Lauda showed toughness, resiliency, fight. And you can take these same values into everyday life, no matter what you're going through. And I'm just sad. Just absolutely sad. A great man. One of the greatest racing drivers to ever exist. One of the greatest minds to ever exist is gone. We don't have many Niki Laudas in this world. We don't have people that are honest with you 100% of the time. You don't have people that are willing to say what they think. You don't have people who are willing to be the black sheep, so to speak. Mr. Lauda owned it. He loved it. And he didn't care what side that he was portrayed as. He was just himself. He was one of the most charismatic drivers you've ever seen. based on his bluntness and his ability. Forza niki. Thank you for inspiring somebody who you never met. Thank you for inspiring children in Austria and all around the world. Thank you for inspiring adults all around the world. And it sucks. Someone like you had to spend their last 8 months in the hospital. The definition of courage and toughness, if you went into the dictionary, you would see a picture of Niki Lauda. Thank you, champ. Thank you for everything you've done for this world in motorsports. And thank you what you've done for me, giving a kid hope. As far as how you handled your accident, how you handled the plane accident with your company, and everything else. Thank you.